unto the sweet bird's throat. Come hither, come hither, come hither. Here shall we see no enemy, but winter and rough weather. Come hither, come hither, come hither. Here shall we see no enemy, but winter and rough weather.
As I remember, Adam, it was bequeathed me by will, and charged my brother Oliver to breed me well. And there begins my sadness. My brother Jakes he keeps at school, and report speaks goldenly of his prophet. For my part, he keeps me rustically at home. His horses are bred better. He lets me feed with his hinds, bars me the place of a brother, and minds my gentility with my education. This is it, Adam, that grieves me. And the spirit of my father within me begins to mutiny against this servitude. I will no longer endure it.
Yonder comes my master, your brother.
Now, sir, what make you here?
Nothing. Not taught to make anything.
What mar you then, sir?
Marry, sir. I am helping you to mar that which God made. A poor, unworthy brother of yours, with idleness.
Marry, sir, be better employed.
What, shall I keep your hogs and eat husks with them? What prodigal portion have I spent that I should come to such?
Know you where you are, sir?
Oh, sir, very well. Here, in your orchard.
Know you before whom, sir?
I, sir, I know you are my eldest brother, and in the gentle condition of blood you should so know me. I have as much of my father in me as you.
What, boy?
Come, come, elder brother, you're too young for this. I am no villain! I am the youngest son of Sir Rowland de Boys. Wert thou not my brother, I would not take this hand from thy throat till this other had pulled out thy tongue for saying so.
Sweet masters, be patient for your father's remembrance.
Let me go, I say!
I will not till I please. You shall hear me. My father charged me to give me good education. You have trained me like a peasant, and I no longer endure it. Therefore, allow me such exercises as may become a gentleman, or give me the 1,000 crowns my father left me. With that will I go buy my fortunes.
And what wilt thou do? Beg when that is spent? Oh, well, sir, get you in. I will not long be troubled with you. You shall have some part of your will. I pray you, leave me.
I will no further offend you.
Get you with him, you old dog!
Is old dog my reward? Most true. I have lost my teeth in your service. God be with my old master. He would not have spoke such a word.
Even so, I will visit your rankness, and yet give no 1,000 crowns neither.
Good morrow to your worship.
Good, Monsieur Charles. What's the new news at the new court?
But there's no news at the court, sir. But the old news, that is, the old duke is banished by his younger brother, the new duke, and 3 or 4 loving lords have put themselves into voluntary exile with him, whose lands and revenues enrich the new duke. Therefore, he gives them good leave to wander.
Can you tell if Rosalind, the duke's daughter, be banished with her father?
Oh no, for the duke's daughter, her cousin, so loves her, being ever from their cradles bred together, that she would have followed her exile, or have died to stay behind her.
Where will the old duke live?
Oh, they say he is already in the forest of Arden, and many merry men with him, and there they live like the old Robin Hood of England. And they say many young gentlemen flock to him every day, and fleet the time carelessly as they did in the golden world.
What? You wrestle tomorrow before the new duke?
Marry do I, sir. And I came to acquaint you with the matter. I am given, sir, secretly, to understand that your younger brother Orlando hath the disposition to come in. Your brother is but young and tender. Out of my love to you, I came hither to acquaint you with all.
I thank thee for thy love to me, which thou shalt find I will most kindly requite. I'll tell thee, Charles, he is the stubbornest young fellow of France, full of ambition, an envious emulator of every man's good parts, a secret and villainous contriver against me, his natural brother. Therefore, I'd as lief thou didst break his neck as his finger, and thou wert best to look to it. For if thou dost him any slight disgrace, he will practice against thee by poison, entrap thee by some treacherous device, and never leave thee till he have ta'en thy life by some indirect means or other. For I assure thee, and almost with tears I speak it, there is not one so young and so villainous this day living. I speak but brotherly of him.
I am heartily glad I came hither to you. If he come tomorrow, I'll give him his payment, and so God keep your worship.
Farewell, good Charles. Now, will I stir this gamester? I hope I shall see an end of him, for my soul, yet I know not why, hates nothing more than he. Yet he's gentle, never schooled, and yet learned, full of noble device of all sorts, enchantingly beloved, and indeed so much in the heart of the world that I am altogether misprized. But it shall not be so long. This wrestler shall clear all.
I pray thee, Rosalind, sweet my coz, be merry.
Dear Celia, I show more mirth than I am mistress of. And would you yet I were merrier? Unless you could teach me to forget a banished father, you must not learn me how to remember any extraordinary pleasure.
Herein I see thou lovest me not with the full weight that I love thee. If my uncle, thy banished father, had banished thy uncle, the Duke my father, so thou hadst been still with me, I could have taught my love to take thy father for mine. So wouldst thou, if the truth of thy love to me were so righteously tempered as mine is to thee.
Well, I will forget the condition of my estate to rejoice in yours.
You know my father hath no child but I, and truly, when he dies, thou shalt be his heir. For what he hath taken away from my father perforce, I will render thee again. Therefore, my sweet Rose, my dear Rose, be merry.
From henceforth I will, coz, and devise sports. Let me see. What think you of falling in love?
Marry, I prithee do, to make sport withal, but love no man in good earnest.
What shall our sport be then?
Let us sit and mock the good housewife fortune that her gifts may henceforth be bestowed equally.
I would we could do so, for her benefits are mightily misplaced, and doth most mistake in her gifts to women.
'Tis true. Now, whither wander you?
Mistress! You must come away to your father.
You make the messenger?
No, by mine honor, but I was bid to come for you. Where learned you that oath, fool? Of a certain knight that swore by his honor that they were good pancakes, and swore by his honor that the mustard was not. Now, I'll stand to it, the pancakes were not, and the mustard was good. And yet, was not the knight forsworn?
How prove you that in the great heap of your knowledge?
Aye, marry, unmuzzle your wisdom. Stand you both forth now. Stroke your chins and swear by your beards that I am a knave.
By our beards, if we had them, thou art.
By my knavery, if I had it, then I were. But if you swear by that, that is not. You are not forsworn. No more was this knight swearing by his honor, for he never had any. Or if he had sworn it away before ever he saw those pancakes or that mustard.
Who is that thou meanest?
One that old Duke Frederick, your father, loves.
My father's love is enough to honor him. Enough. Speak no more of him. You'll be whipped for taxation one of these days.
Oh, the more pity that fools may not speak wisely what wise men do foolishly.
By my troth, thou sayest true. Here comes
With his mouth full of news.
Bonjour, Monsieur LeBeau. What's the news?
Fair princess, you have lost much good sport.
Sport? Of what color?
What
color, madame, how shall I answer you?
Nay, if I keep not my rank.
Thou losest thy old smell.
Well said, that was laid on with a trowel.
You amaze me, ladies. I would have told you of good wrestling, which you have lost the sight of.
You tell us the manner of this wrestling.
I will tell you the beginning, and if it please your ladyships, you may see the end. For the best is yet to do, and here, where you are, they are coming to perform it.
Well, the beginning, that is dead and buried.
There comes an old man and his 3 sons.
I could match this beginning with an old tale.
3 proper young men of excellent growth and presence. The eldest of the 3 wrestled with Charles, the Duke's wrestler, and Charles, in a moment, threw him and broke 3 of his ribs, and there is little hope of life in him. So he served the 2nd, and so the 3rd. Yonder they lie, the poor old man, their father, making such pitiful dole over them that all beholders take his part with weeping.
Alas!
But what is the sport, monsieur, that the ladies have lost?
Why, this that I speak of.
It is the first time ever I heard breaking of ribs was sport for ladies.
Or I promise thee.
Is there yet another dotes upon rib breaking? Shall we see this wrestling, cousin?
Yonder, sure. Well, they are coming, let us stay now and see it.
Come on, since the youth cannot be entreated, his own peril on his forward.
Is yonder the man?
Well, alas, he is too young. Yet he looks successfully.
How now, daughter and cousin, have you crept hither to see the wrestling?
So please you give us leave.
You will take little delight in it, that I can tell you. In pity of the challenger's youth, I would fain dissuade him, but he will not be entreated. Speak to him, ladies. See if you can move him. I'll not be by.
Young man, have you challenged Charles the wrestler?
No, fair princess. I come but in his other suit to try the strength of my youth.
Young gentlemen, your spirits are too bold for your years. You have seen cruel proof of this man's strength. We pray you, for your own sake, to embrace your own safety and give over this attempt.
Do, young sir. We will make it our suit to the Duke that the wrestling might not go forward.
I beseech you, punish me not with your hard thoughts, wherein I confess me much guilty to deny so fair and excellent ladies anything. But let your fair eyes and gentle wishes go with me unto my trial, wherein, if I be foiled, there is but one shamed that was never gracious. If killed, one dead that was willing to be so. I shall do my friends no wrong, for I have none to lament me. The world no injury, for in it I have nothing. Only in the world I fill up a place, which may be better supplied when I have made it empty.
The little strength that I have, I would it were with you. And mine. Fare you well. Pray heaven I be deceived in you.
Your heart's desires be with you.
You shall try, but one fall. Come your ways.
May Hercules be thy speed, young man!
But what I want to know, I so fell by the leg.
Oh, excellent!
What's my name, young man?
Orlando, my liege, the youngest son of Sir Roland de Bois.
I would thou hadst been son to some man else. The world esteemed your father honorable, but I did find him still mine enemy. But fare thee well! Thou art a gallant Jew! I would thou hadst told me of another father.
Were I my father, cuss, would I do this?
My father loved Sir Roland as his soul, and all the world was of my father's mind. Had I known before this young man, his son, I should have given him tears unto entreaties, ere thus he should have ventured.
Gentle cousin, let us go thank him and encourage him. My father's rough and envious disposition sticks me at heart. Sir, you have well deserved. If you do keep your promises in love, but justly, as you have exceeded all promise, your mistress shall be happy.
Gentlemen, wear this for me. One out of suits with fortune that could give more, but that her hand lacks the means. Shall we go?
Aye. Fare you well, fair gentlemen.
Can I not say I thank you?
He calls us back. I can that my fortunes. I'll ask him what he would. Did you call, sir? You have wrestled well and overthrown more than your enemies.
Will you go, cuss?
Have with you. Fare you well.
What passion hangs these weights upon my tongue? I cannot speak to her, yet she urged conference. Oh, poor Orlando, thou art overthrown.
Good sir, I do in friendship counsel you to leave this place, albeit you have deserved high commendation, true applause, and love. Yet such is now the Duke's condition, he misconstrues all that you have done.
I thank you, sir. Pray do tell me this. Which of the two was daughter of the Duke that here was at the wrestling?
Neither his daughter, if we judge by manners, but yet the lesser is his daughter. The other is daughter to the banished Duke, and here detained by her usurping uncle to keep his daughter company, whose loves are dearer than the natural bond of sisters. But I can tell you that of late this Duke hath ta'en displeasure against his gentle niece, grounded upon no other argument but that people praise her for her virtues and pity her for her good father's sake. And on my life, his malice against the lady will suddenly break forth. Sir, fare you well. Hereafter, in a better world than this, I shall desire more love and knowledge of you.
I rest much bound unto you, sir. Fare you well. Thus must I, from the smoke unto the smother, from tyrant Duke unto a tyrant brother. But heavenly Rosalind!
My cousin. Why, Rosalind! Cupid have mercy. Not a word.
Not one to throw at a dog.
No, thy words are too precious to be cast away upon curs. Throw some at me. Come, lay me with reasons. Is this all for your father?
No, some of it is for my child's father. Oh, how briars is this working day world?
They are but burrs, cousin, thrown upon thee in holiday foolery. If we walk not in the trodden paths, our very petticoats will catch them.
I could shake them off my coat. These burrs are in my heart.
Come, come, wrestle with thy affection.
They take the part of a better wrestler than myself.
Let us talk in good earnest. Is it possible, on such a sudden, you should fall into so strong a liking with old Sir Roland's youngest son?
The Duke, my father, loved his father dearly.
Doth it therefore ensue that you
love his son dearly? By this kind of chase, I should hate him, for my father hated his father. Yet I hate not Orlando.
No, Faith, hate him not, for my sake.
Why should I not? Doth he not deserve well?
Let me love him for that. And you do love him because I do. Look, here comes the Duke,
With his eyes full of anger.
Mistress, dispatch yourself with your safest haste, and get you from our court.
Me, uncle?
You, cousin, within these 10 days, if thou beest found so near our public court as 20 miles, thou diest for it.
I do beseech your grace. Let me the knowledge of my fault bear with me. Never so much as in a thought unborn did I offend your highness.
Thus do all traitors. Let it suffice thee that I trust thee not.
Yet your mistrust cannot make me a traitor. Tell me whereon the likelihood depends.
Thou art thy father's daughter. There's enough.
So was I when your highness took his dukedom. So was I when your highness banished him. Treason is not inherited, my lord. Or if we did derive it from our friends, what's that to me? My father was no traitor. Then good, my liege, mistake me not so much to think my poverty is treacherous.
Dear sovereign, hear me speak.
Aye, Celia, we stayed her for your sake, else had she with her father ranged along.
I did not then entreat to have her stay. It was your pleasure and your own remorse. I was too young that time to value her. But now I know her. If she be a traitor, why so am I. We still have slept together, rose at an instant, learned, played each together, and wheresoe'er we went, like Juno's swans, still we went coupled and inseparable.
She is too subtle for thee. Her smoothness, her very silence, and her patience speak to the people, and they pity her. She robs thee of thy name. Thou wilt show more bright and seem more virtuous when she is gone. Then open not thy lips. Firm and irrevocable is my doom, which I have passed upon her. She is banished.
Pronounce that sentence then on me, my liege. I cannot leave out of her company.
You are a fool. You, niece, provide yourself. If you outstay the time, upon mine honor and in the greatness of my word, you die.
Oh, my poor Rosalind, whither wilt thou go? Wilt thou change fathers? I will give thee mine. I charge thee, be thou not more grieved than I am.
I have more cause.
Thou hast not, cousin. Prithee, be cheerful. Knowst thou not the Duke hath banished me, his daughter?
That he hath not.
No, hath not. Rosalind lacks then the love which teacheth thee that thou and I am one. Shall we be sundered? Shall we part, sweet girl? No, let my father seek another heir. Therefore, devise with me how we may fly, whither to go and what to bear with us. And do not seek to take your change upon you, to bear your griefs yourself and leave me out. For by this heaven, thou at our sorrows pay. Say what thou canst. I'll go along with thee.
Why, whither shall we go?
To seek my uncle in the forest of Arden.
Alas, what danger will it be to us maids as we are to travel forth so far? Beauty provoketh thieves sooner than gold.
I'll put myself in poor and mean attire, and with a kind of umber smirch my face, the like do you, so shall we pass along and never stir assailants.
Were it not better, because I am more than common tall, that I did suit me all points like a man? We'll have a swashing and martial outside, as many other mannish cowards have, that do outface it with their semblances.
What shall I call thee when thou art a man?
I'll have no worse a name than Jove's own page. Therefore, look you, call me Ganymede.
But what will you be called? Something that hath reference to my state. No longer Celia, but
alien.
Alien,
Aliena.
Aliena! But cousin, what if we essayed to steal the clownish fool out of your father's court? Would he not be a comfort to our travel?
He'll go along o'er the wide world with me. Leave me alone to woo him.
Let's away and get our jewels and our wealth together. Devise the fittest time and safest way to hide us from pursuit that will be made after my flight. Now go we in content to liberty and not to banishment.
Seeking the foodies and things of body guests. Come hither, come hither, come hither. Here shall we see no enemy but winter and rough weather.
Now my co-mates and brothers in exile, hath not old custom made this life more sweet than thou of painted talk? Are not these woods more free from peril than that of the envious court? Here we feel but the penalty of Adam, the season's difference, the icy fang, the churlish chiding of the winter's wind, which, when it bites and blows upon my body, even till I shrink with cold, I smile and say, this is no flattery. These are counselors that feelingly persuade me what I am. Sweet are the uses of adversity. And this our life, exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in the running brooks, sermons in stone, and good in everything. I would not change it.
Happy is your grace that can translate the stubbornness of fortune into so quiet and so sweet a style.
Come! Shall we go and kill us some venison? It yet hurts me that the poor, dappled fools, being native burghers of this desert city, should in their own confines with forked heads have their round haunches gored.
Indeed, my lord, the melancholy Jaques grieves at that, and that kind swears that you do more usurp than doth your brother who has banished you today. I stole behind him as he lay under an oak, whose antique roof peeps out upon the brook that brawls along this wood, to the which place a poor sequestered stag that from the hunter's aim had ta'en a hurt did come to languish, and indeed, my lord, the wretched animal heaved forth such groans that their discharge did scratch his leather coat almost to bursting, and the big round tears coursed one another down his innocent nose in piteous chase, and thus the hairy fool, much marked of the melancholy James, stood on the extremest verge of the swift brook, augmenting it with tears.
But when Pentecost, did he not moralize the spectacle?
Oh, yes, into 1,000 similes, first first weeping into the needle stream. Then, most invectively, he pierceth through the body of the country, city, court, yea, this our life, swearing that we are mere usurpers, tyrants, and what's worse, to fright the animals and to kill them up in their assigned and native dwelling place.
And did you leave him in this contemplation?
We did, my lord, weeping and commenting upon the sobbing deer.
How in the place? I love to cope him in these sullen fits, for then he's full of matter.
I'll bring you to him straight, huh?
Can it be possible no man showed up? It cannot be. Some villains of my courts are of consent and sufferance in this.
The ladies, the attendants of her chamber saw her abed, and in the morning early they found the bed untreasured of their mistress. Indeed, the Rhenish clown at whom so oft her grace was wont to laugh is also missing. Hesperia, the princess's gentlewoman, confesses that she secretly o'erheard your daughter and her cousin much commend the parts and graces of that youth that did but lately foil the sinewy Charles, and she believes wherever they are gone, that youth is surely in their company.
If he be absent, bring his brother to me. I'll make him find him. Do this suddenly, and let not search and inquisition quail to bring again these foolish runaways.
What? My young master! Oh, my gentle master! Oh, my sweet master! Oh, your memory of old Sir Roland! Why, what makes you here? Why are you virtuous? Why do people love you? And wherefore are you gentle, strong, and valiant? What a world is this? Venom's comely and venoms whom the bows.
Why? What's the matter?
Oh, what happened to you?
What?
Come not within these doors. Within this roof, the enemy of all your graces lives. Your brother. No brother. Yet the son. Yet not the son. Call him son. If him I was about to call his father had heard your praises, and this night means to burn the lodging where you used to lie, and you within it. If he fail of that, he will have other means to cut you off. I overheard him, and his practices, this is no place. This house is but a butchery. Abhor it, fear it. Do not enter it.
Whither, Adam, wouldst thou have me go?
No matter whither, so you come not here.
What? Would you have me go and beg my food? Or with a base and boisterous sword enforce a thievish living on the common road?
But do not so. I have 500 crowns, the thrifty hire I did save under your father, which I did store to be my foster nurse when service should lie lame. Here is the gold, and all this I give you. Let me be your servant. Though I look old, yet I am strong and lusty. This has a lusty winter frostly, yet kindly. Let me go with you.
Young man! And ere we have my youthful wages spent, we'll light upon some settled, low content.
Master, go on, and I will follow thee to the last gasp with truth and loyalty.
Jupiter! How weary are my spirits! I care not for my spirits. If my legs were not weary.
I pray you, bear with me. I can go no further.
I could find it in my heart to disgrace my man's apparel and to cry like a woman. But I must comfort the weaker vessel, as doublet and hose ought to show itself courageous to petticoat. Therefore, courage, good Aliena, courage! Well, this is the forest of Arden.
Aye, now am I in Arden, the more fool I. When I was at home, I was in a better place. But travelers must be content.
Aye, be so, good touchstone.
Who comes here, young shepherd?
loved, or if any stone has not sat, as I do now, really thy hearer and thy mistress's praise, thou hast not loved. Oh my God. He leaps. Company abruptly as my passions now make me. Thou hast not loved.
Jove, this shepherd's passion is much upon my fashion. And mine. Run! Strange capers. Thou speakest wiser than thou art ware of. Then I shall ne'er beware of mine own wit till I break my shins against it.
I pray you, what do you question, young man, if he for gold will give us any food? I faint almost to death.
Holla, you clown! You're better, sir.
Else they are very wretched.
Peace, I say. Good even to you, friend.
Sir, and to you all.
I prithee, shepherd, if that love or gold can in this desert place buy entertainment, bring us to where we may rest ourselves and feed. Here's a young maid which travel much oppressed and faints for succor.
Fair sir, I pity her, and wish for her sake more than mine own my fortunes were more able to relieve her. But I am shepherd to another man, and do not shear the fleeces that I graze. My master is of churlish disposition, and little racks his way to heaven by doing deeds of hospitality. Besides, his coat and flocks are now on sale.
I pray thee, if it stand with honesty, buy thou the cottage, the pasture, and the flock, and we will mend thy wages.
I like this place and willingly could waste my time in it.
Go with me then. If you like upon report the soil, the profit, and this kind of life, I will your very faithful feeder be. And buy it with your gold right suddenly.
Greenwood tree. Unto the sweetwood grove. Come hither, come hither, come hither. You shall be seen no enemy but winter and rough weather.
More, I prithee more.
It will make you melancholy, Monsieur Jaques.
I thank it. I can suck melancholy out of a song as a weasel sucks eggs. I prithee more.
Well, I'll end the song. The Duke hath been all this day to look you.
And I have been all this day to avoid him. He is too, disputable for my company. Come, warble, come.
Who doth that fish and done? Who loves to live in the sun, seeking the food he eats, and pleased with what he gets? Come hither, come hither, come hither. Here shall he see no enemy but winter and rough weather.
I'll give you a verse to this note that I wrote yesterday in despite of my invention.
And I'll sing it. If it do come to pass that any man turn ass, leaving his wealth and ease, a stubborn will to please, duck dame, duck dame, duck dame, here shall he see gross fools as he, and if he will come to me. What's that duck dame?
'Tis a Greek invocation to call fools into a circle. If I can. If I cannot, I'll rail against all the firstborn of Egypt.
And I'll go seek the dew. His banquet is prepared. The dame.
Here shall be singing rich fools as
Only a courtly fool wanders through the forest in motley. Art thou from court?
If any man doubts that, melancholy forester, let him put me to my purgation. I have trod a measure. I have flattered a lady. I've been politic with my friend, smooth with mine enemy. I have undone 3 tailors. I've had 4 quarrels, and like to have fought 1.
And how was that taken up?
Faith, we met and found the quarrel was upon the 7th cause.
How was 7th cause?
Upon a lie, 7 times removed, as thus, sir. I did dislike the cut of a certain courtier's beard. He sent me word, if I said his beard was not cut well, he was in the mind it was. This is called the retort courteous. If I sent him word again, it was not well cut, he would send me word, he cut it to please himself. This is called the quip modeste. If again it was not well cut, he disabled my judgment. This is called the reply churlish. If again it was not well cut, he would answer, I spake not true. This is called the reproof valiant. If again it was not well cut, he would say I lied. This is called the counter-check quarrelsome. And the lie circumstantial and the lie direct.
And how often did you say his beard was not well cut?
I durst go no further than the lie circumstantial, nor he durst not give me the lie direct. And so we measured swords and parted.
Can you nominate now, in order, the degrees of the lie?
Oh, sir, I will name you the degrees. The first, the retort courteous. The second, the quip modest. The third, the reply churlish. The fourth, the reproof valiant. The fifth, the counter-check quarrelsome. The sixth, the lie with circumstance. The seventh, the lie direct. All these you may avoid, but the lie direct. And you may avoid that too, with an if. As, if you said so, then I said so. And they shook hands and swore, brothers. Your if is your only peacemaker, sir. Much virtue in if.
Thou art truly from court. A good moral fool.
Oh, no, sir. Call me not fool, until heaven hath sent me fortune. It is now 10 o'clock.
Dear master, I can go no further. Oh, I die for food. Here I lie down and measure out my grave. Farewell, kind master.
Why, how now, Adam? No greater heart in thee. Live a little, comfort a little, cheer thyself a little. If this uncouth forest yields anything savage, I will either be food for it, or bring it for food to thee. I will be with thee presently, and if I bring thee not something to eat, then I will give thee leave to die. That looks cheerly. Thou liest in the bleak air. Come, I will bear thee to some shelter, and thou shalt not die for lack of a dinner, if there live anything in this desert. Oh, cheerly good Adam.
Oh, no.
transformed into a beast, for I can nowhere find him as a man. Go, seek him out. Tell him I would speak with him.
He saves my labor by his own approach.
Why, how now, monsieur? What a life is this that your poor friends must woo your company? What? Verily.
A fool! A fool! I met a fool in the forest! A motley fool! Oh, miserable world. As I do live by food, I met a fool! Who laid him back and basked him in the sun and railed on Lady Fortune in good terms, in good set terms, and yet a motley fool. Good morrow, fool, quoth I. No, sir, quoth he. Call me not fool, until heaven hath sent me fortune. And then he drew a diet from his poke, and looking on him with lackluster eyes, says very wisely, it is 10 o'clock. Thus we may see, quoth he, how the world wags. 'Tis but an hour ago since it was 9, and after 1 hour more 'twill be 11. And so from hour to hour we ripe and ripe, and then from hour to hour we rot, and thereby hangs a tail. And I can hear the motley fool thus moral on the time, my lungs began to crow like chanticleer that fools could be so deep contemplative, and I did laugh sans intermission an hour by his dial. Oh, noble fool, oh, worthy fool, motley's the only wear.
What fool is this?
Oh, worthy fool, one that hath been a courtier, and says, if ladies be but young and fair, they have the gift to know it. And in his brain, which is as dry as the remainder biscuit after a voyage, he hath strange places crammed with observation, the which he vents in mangled forms. Oh, that I were a fool! I am ambitious for a motley coat.
Thou shalt have one.
It is my only suit. Invest me in my motley. Give me leave to speak my mind, and I shall through and through cleanse the foul body of the infected world, if they will patiently receive my medicine.
Fie on thee, I can tell what thou wouldst do.
What for a counter would I do but good?
Most mischievous, foul sin and chiding sin, for thou hast been a libertine, as sensual as the brutish sting itself, with the embossed swords and hated evils of the world, that thou with license of free foot hast caught, wouldst thou disgorge into the general world.
How then, what then? But who comes here?
Forbear and eat no more.
Why I have eaten yet?
Nor shalt not till necessity be served.
Of what kind should this cock come up?
Art thou less bold in men by thy distress, or else a rude despiser of good manners, that even in civility thou seemst so empty?
You touched my vein at first. The thorny point of bare distress hath ta'en from me to show me smooth civility. Yet I am inland bred, and know some nurture. But forbear, I say! He dies that touches any of this food till I and my affairs are answered.
You will not be answered with reason. I must die.
What would you have? Your gentleness shall force, nor than your force lead us to gentleness.
I almost died for food, and let me have it.
Sit down and feed, and welcome to our table.
Speak you so gently? Pardon me, I pray you. I thought that all things had been savage here, and therefore put I on the countenance of stern commandment. Whate'er you are, let gentleness my strong enforcement be, in which hope I blush and hide my blade.
True it is that we have seen better days, and sat at good men's feasts and wiped our lips. But no more. Sit you down in gentleness, and take upon command what help we have, that to your wanting may be ministered.
Then but forbear your food a little while, and call the least. There is an old poor man who after me hath many a weary step lived in pure love, till he be first sufficed, oppressed with 2 weak evils, age and hunger. I will not touch a bit.
Go,
Find him out, and we will nothing waste till you return.
I thank you, and be blessed for your good comfort.
Thou seest we are not all alone unhappy. This wide and universal theater presents more woeful pageants than the scene wherein we play in.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. Then a lover, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the tar, jealous and on a sudden and quick war, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. Then the justice, in a fair round belly with good cape and line, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The 6th stage shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful hose well save the world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big manly voice turning again toward childish treble pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all, that ends this strange, eventful history, is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Welcome. Set down your venerable burden and let him feed.
I thank you most for him.
So had you need, I scarce can speak to thank you for myself.
Welcome. Fall to. I will not trouble you as yet to question you about your fortunes. Give us the music. Good cousin, sing.
Blow, blow, thou winter wind, thou art not so unkind as man's ingratitude. Thy tooth is not so keen, because thou art not seen, although thy breath be rude. Hey ho, sing hey ho, unto the green holly. Most friendship is feigning, most loving mere folly. But hey ho, the holly, this life is most jolly.
If that you were the good Sir Roland's son, as faithfully you have whispered here you were, be truly welcome hither. I am the Duke that loved your father. The residue of your fortune, go to my cave and tell me. Good old man, thou art right welcome as thy master is. Support him by the arm. Give me your hand, and let me all your fortunes understand.
Freeze, freeze, thou bitter sky, now dost not bite so nigh as benefits for God. Though thou the waters warp, thy sting is not so sharp as friend remembered not. Hey ho, sing hey ho, unto the green holly. Most friendship is feigning, most loving mere folly. But hey ho, the holly, this life is most jolly.
him since? Sir, that cannot be. Find out thy brother wheresoe'er he is. Seek him with candle. Bring him dead or living within this 12 month. Or turn thou no more to seek a living in our territory. Thy lands and all things that thou dost call thine, worth seizure do we seize into our hands.
Oh, that your highness knew my heart in this. I never loved my brother in my life.
Lord villain thou, will push him out of doors. Do this expediently and turn him going.
Oh, hang there, my verse, in witness of my love. Oh, Rosalind. These trees shall be my books, and in their barks my thoughts of character. Every man which in this forest looks shall see thy virtue witnessed. Everywhere. Run, Orlando! On every tree, the fair, the chaste, and the unexpressive she.
Really, Sylvius, in respect of itself, it is a good life. But in respect that it is a shepherd's life, it is not. In respect that it is private, I like it very well. But in respect that it is solitary, it is a very vile life. In respect that it is in the fields, it pleases me well. But in respect that it is not in the court, it is tedious. As it is a spare life, look you, it fits my humor well. But as there is no more plenty in it, it goes much against my stomach. Hast any philosophy in thee, shepherd?
I know the property of rain is to wet and fire to burn, that good pasture makes fat sheep, and that a great cause of night is lack of sun.
Such a one is a natural philosopher. Was never in court, shepherd.
No, truly.
Then thou art damned.
For not being at court? Your reason?
Why, if thou wast never at court, thou never sawest good manners. If thou never sawest good manners, thy manners must be wicked. And wickedness is sin, and sin is damnation. Thou art in a parlous state, shepherd.
Not a whit, Touchstone. Those that are good manners at the court are as ridiculous in the country as the behavior of the country is most mockable at court. You told me you salute not, but that you kiss your hands. That curtsy would be uncleanly if courtiers were shepherds.
Instance, briefly. Come, instance.
Why, we are still handling our ewes, and their fells, you know, are greasy.
Why, do not your courtiers' hands sweat? And is not the grease of a mutton as wholesome as the sweat of a man? Shallow, a better instance, I say, come.
Besides, our hands are hard.
Your lips will feel them the sooner. Shallow again, a more sounder instance, come.
And they are up and tarred over with the surgery of our sheep. And would you have us kiss tar? The courtier's hands are perfumed with civet.
Most shallow man, thou worm's meat in respect of a good piece of flesh indeed. Learn of the wise and perpend. Civet is of a baser birth than tar. A very uncleanly flux of a cat. Send the instance, shepherd.
You have too courtly a wit for me. I'll rest.
Wilt thou rest damned? God help thee, shallow man.
Sir, I am a true laborer. I earn that I eat, get that I wear. Envy no man's happiness, glad of other men's goods, content with my own. The greatest of my pride is to see my ewes graze and lambs suck.
That is another simple sin in you. To be bawd and to get your living by the copulation of cattle? If thou beest not down to this, the devil himself will take no shepherds. I cannot see how else thou should escape.
Here comes young Master Ganymede.
From the east to western Ind, no jewel is like Rosalind. Her worth being mounted on the wind through all the world bears Rosalind. All the pictures fair as lined are but black to Rosaline. let no fair be kept in mind, but the fair of Rosaline.
I'll run you so 8 years together. Dinners and suppers and sleeping hours accepted.
Out, fool.
For a taste! If the heart do lack a hind, let him seek out Rosaline. If the cat will after kind, so be sure will Rosaline. Winter garments must be lined, so must slender.
Rosaline?
They that reap must sheep and bind, then to cart with Rosaline. Sweetest nut at sourest rind, such a nut is
Rosaline!
He that sweetest rose will find, must find love's prick and Rosaline. Very false gallop of verses. Why do you infect yourself with them?
Peace, you dull fool. I found them on a tree.
Truly, the tree yields bad fruit. Let us make an honorable retreat, though not with bag and baggage, yet with scrip and scrippage.
Why should this a desert be? Tongues I'll hang on every tree, that one body should be filled with all graces wide distilled. Helen's cheap, but not her heart. Atalanta's better part. Cleopatra's majesty, sad Lucretia's modesty. Thus Rosalind of many parts, of many faces, eyes, and hearts. Heaven would that she these gifts should have, and I to live and die her slave. Here these verses.
Oh, yes, I heard them all, and more too, for some of them had in them more feet than the verses would bear.
But didst thou hear without wondering how thy name should be hanged and carved upon these trees?
I was 7 of the 9 days out of wonder before you came, for look here what I found on a palm tree. I was so grimed.
Show you who hath done this.
Is it a man?
And a chain that you once wore about his neck. Changed you color?
Prithee who?
Is it possible?
I prithee with most petitionary vehemence, tell me who it is.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, and most wonderful, wonderful, and yet again wonderful, and after that, out of all who think.
Oh, good my complexion, tell me who it is, quickly and speak apace. I would thou couldst stammer that thou mightst pour this concealed man out of thy mouth, as wine comes out of a narrow-mouthed bottle, either too much at once or none at all. I prithee, take the cork out of thy mouth that may drink thy tidings.
It is young Orlando that tripped up the restless heels and your heart both in an instant.
Nay, but the devil take mocking speak, sad brow and true maid.
Faith, 'cause 'tis he.
Orlando. What shall I do with my doublet and hose? What did he when thou saw'st him? What said he? How looked he? Wherein went he? What makes him here? Did he ask for me? How parted he with thee? And when shalt thou see him again? Answer me in one word.
Far me gargantua's mouth first. Is a word too great for any mouth of this age's size?
But doth he know that I am in this forest, and in man's apparel? Looks he as freshly as the day he wrestled.
Easy to count atomies as to resolve the propositions of a lover, but take a taste in my finding him, and relish it with good observance. I found him under a tree, like a dropped acorn.
It may as well be a Jove's tree when it drops forth such fruit.
Give me audience, good madam.
Proceed.
There lay he, stretched along like a wounded knight.
Though it be a pity to see such a sight, it well becomes the ground.
Cry hollow to thy tongue, I pray. He was furnished like a hunter.
Ominous! Chill my heart.
I would sing my song without a burden. Thou bringest me out of tune.
Do you not know that I am a man? When I think, I must speak. Sweet, stay on.
You bring me out. Soft. Comes he not here? This is he.
Slink by and note him.
Thank you for your company, but good faith, I had as lief have been myself alone.
And so had I, but yet for fashion's sake, I thank you too for your society.
God be with you. Let's meet as little as we can.
I do desire we may be better strangers.
I pray you, mar no more trees with writing love songs on their barks.
Pray you, mar no more of my verses with reading them most favorably.
Rosalind is your love's name?
Yes, just.
I do not like her name.
There was no thought of pleasing you when she was christened.
What stature is she of?
Just as high as my heart.
You have a nimble wit. Will you sit down with me and we two will rail against our mistress, the world, and all our misery?
I will chide no breather in the world but myself, against whom I know most faults.
The worst fault you have is to be in love.
'Tis a fault I will not change for your best virtue. I am weary of you.
By my troth, I was seeking a fool when I found you.
He is drowned in the brook. Look but in and you shall see him.
And there I shall see mine own figure.
Which I take to be either a fool or a cipher.
I'll tarry no longer with you. Farewell, good Signor Love.
I am glad of your departure. Adieu, good Monsieur Melancholy.
I will speak to him like a saucy lackey, and under that habit play the knave with him. Pray you, sir, what is the clock?
You should ask what time of day. There's no clock in the forest.
Then there is no true lover in the forest. Else sigh in every minute and groan in every hour would detect the lazy foot of time as well as a clock.
Why not the swift foot of time? Had not that been as proper?
By no means, sir. Time travels in divers paces with divers persons. I'll tell you who time ambles withal, who time trots withal, who time gallops withal, and who time stands still withal.
I prithee, who doth he trot withal?
Mary, he trots hard with a young maid between the contract of her marriage and the day it is solemnized.
Who ambles time withal?
With a priest that lacks Latin, and a rich man that hath not the gout. For one sleeps easily because he cannot study, and the other lives merrily because he feels no pain. These time ambles withal.
Who doth he gallop withal?
With a feet to the gallows. For though he go as soft as foot can fall, he thinks himself too soon there.
Who stays it still withal?
With lawyers in the vacation, where they speak between term and term, and they perceive not how time moves.
Where dwell you, pretty youth?
With this shepherdess, my sister, here in the skirts of the forest, like fringe upon a petticoat.
Are you native of this place? Your accent seems something finer than you could purchase in so removed a dwelling.
I have been told so of many, but indeed an old religious uncle of mine taught me to speak, who was in his youth an indolent man, one that knew courtship too well, for there he fell in love. I have heard him read many lectures against it, and I thank God I am not a woman to be touched with so many giddy offenses as he hath generally taxed their whole sex withal.
Can you remember any of the principal evils he laid in the charge of women?
There were none principal.
Well, I pray you recount some of them.
No, I will not cast away my physic, but on those that are sick. There is a young man, haunts this forest, abuses our young plants by carving Rosalind in their barks, hangs odes upon hawthorns and elegies on brambles, all, forsooth, deifying the name of Rosalind. If I could meet that fancy monger, I would give him some good counsel, for he seems to have the quotidian of love upon it.
I am he that is so love-shaked. Pray you, tell me your remedy.
But there are none of my uncle's marks upon you. He taught me to know a man in love.
What were his marks?
A lean cheek, which you have not, a sunken eye, which You have not an unquestionable spirit, which you have not. A beard, neglected, which you have not. And everything about you demonstrating a careless desolation. But you are no such man. You are rather point device in your accoutrements, as seeming the lover of yourself than the lover of any other.
Fair youth, I would I could make thee believe I love.
Make me believe it. You may as soon make the one you love believe it, which I'll warrant she is apter to do than to confess she does. This is one of the ways in which women still give the lie to their consciences. But, in good sooth, are you that he that hangs the verses on the trees wherein Rosalind is so admired?
I swear to you by the white hand of Rosalind, I am that he, that unfortunate he.
But are you as in love as your rhymes speak?
Neither rhyme nor reason can express how much.
Love is merely a madness, yet I profess curing it by counsel.
Did you ever cure any so?
Yes, one. And in this manner he was to imagine me his love, his mistress, and I set him every day to woo me, at which time would I, being but a moonish youth, now grieve, be effeminate, changeable, longing and liking, proud, fantastical, apish, shallow, inconstant, full of tears, full of smiles, for every passion something, and for no passion truly anything, would now like him, now loathe him, then entertain him, now forswear him, then spit at him, that I drove my suitor from a mad humor of love to a living humor of madness, which was to forswear the full stream of the world and live in a nook, merely monastic. And thus I cured him. And this will I take upon me to wash your liver as clean as a sound sheep's heart, that there shall not be one spot of love in it.
I would not be cured, youth.
I would cure you if you would but call me Rosalind and come to my court every day and woo me.
Now, by the faith of my love, I will. Tell me where it is.
Go with me to it, and I will show it you. And by the way, you shall tell me where in the forest you live. Will you go?
With all my heart, good youth.
Nay, you must call me Rosalind. Come, sister, will you go?
How, Audrey? Am I the man yet? Doth my simple feature content you?
Your features, Lord, warrant us. My features.
I am here with thee and thy goats. The precious poet, honest Ovid, was among the gods. Truly, I would the gods had made thee poetical.
I do not know what poetical is. Is it honest, indeed, in word? Is it a true thing?
No, truly. For the truest poetry is the most feigning, and lovers are given to poetry, and what they swear in poetry may be said as lovers.
Do you understand that the gods had made me poetical?
I do, and truly, for thou swearest to me thou art some hope thou didst feign.
Would you not have me on?
No, truly, unless thou wert hard favored. For honesty coupled to beauty is to have honey as soft to sugar.
Well, I am not fair, and therefore, pray the gods make me honest.
Truly, and to cast away honesty upon a foul slut were to put good meat into an unclean dish.
I am not a slut, though I thank the gods I am foul.
Praise be the gods for thy foulness. Sluttishness may come hereafter. But, be it as it may be, I will marry thee. And to that end I have been with Sir Oliver Martext, the vicar of the next village, who had promised to meet me in this place of the forest and to couple us.
I would fain see this meeting.
Will the gods give us joy? Amen. For here we have no temple but the wood, no assembly but horned beasts. Sir Oliver Martext, you are well met. Will you dispatch us here under this tree, or shall we go with you to your chapel?
I'm here to give the woman.
I will not take her on gift of any man.
Oh, truly she must be given, or the marriage is not lawful.
Proceed! I'll give her.
Good even, good master, what you call it? How do you, sir? I am very glad to see you. Even a toy and ram here, sir. Nay, pray, covered?
Will you be married, mine?
As man hath his desires, and as pigeons bill, so wedlock would be nibbling. Press in here, sir, amongst the rest of these country copulatives, to swear and forswear, according as marriage binds and blood breaks. A poor virgin, sir. An ill-favored thing, sir, but mine own. A poor humor of mine, sir, to take that no man else will. Rich honesty dwells like a miser, sir, in a poor house, as your pearl in your foul oyster.
And will you, being a man of your breeding, be married under a bush like a beggar? Forget it, sir. We have a good priest that can tell you what marriage is. This fellow will join you together as they join wainscot. And then one of you will prove a shrunk panel, and like green timber, war. War.
I were better to be married of him than of another, for he is not like to marry me well, and not being well married, it will be a good excuse for me hereafter to leave my wife.
Go thou with me and let me counsel thee.
Come, sweet Audrey, we must be married, or we must live in Baudry. Farewell, good Master Oliver, not. Oh, sweet Oliver, leave me not behind me, but blind away. God, I say, I will not do anything.
By my faith, he is very swift and sententious. But 'tis no matter. Ne'er a fantastical knave of them all shall flout me out of my calling.
Never talk to me. I will weep.
Do I prithee, but yet have the grace to consider that tears do not become a man.
But have I not cause to weep?
As good cause as one would desire, therefore weep.
His very hair is of the dissembling color,
An excellent color. Your chestnut was ever the only color.
and his kisses are as full of sanctity as the touch of holy bread.
And none of winter's sisterhood kisses not more religiously. The very ice of chastity is in them.
But why did he swear he would come this morning, and comes not?
Nay, certainly there is no truth in him.
Do you think so?
Yes, I think he is is not a pick purse nor a horse stealer, but for his verity in love, I do think him as concave as a covered goblet or a worm-eaten nut.
Not true in love.
Yes, when he is in, but I think he is not in.
But you heard him swear downright he was.
Was is not is. Besides, the oath of a lover is no stronger than the word of a tapster. They are both the confirmer of false reckonings. He attends here in the forest on the Duke, your father.
I met the Duke yesterday and had much question with him. He asked me of what parentage I was. I told him of as good as he, and so he laughed and let me go. But what talk we of fathers when there is such a man as Orlando?
Oh, that's a brave man. He writes brave verses, speaks brave words, swears brave oaths, and breaks them bravely. Look, sweet coz, 'tis the shepherd that complained of love, praising the proud, disdainful shepherdess that was his mistress.
And is that not she?
'Tis she. Let's see a pageant truly played between the pale complexion of true love and the red glow of scorn and proud disdain.
The sight of lovers feedeth those in love. Perchance I'll prove an actor in their play. Do not scorn me, do not feed me. Say that you love me not, but say not so in bitterness. The common heart, the accustomed sight of death makes hard, falls not the axe upon the humble neck, but first begs pardon. Will you sterner be than he that dies and lives by bloody drugs?
I would not be thy executioner. I fly thee, for I would not injure thee. Thou tellest me there is murder in mine eyes. 'Tis pretty, sure, and very probable that eyes that are the frailest and softest things, who shut their coward gates on atomies, should be called tyrants, butchers, murderers. Now I do frown only with all my heart. And if mine eyes can wound, now let them kill thee. No. Now counterfeit to swoon. Why now fall down? Or if thou canst not, oh, for shame, lie not to say mine eyes are murderers. Now shall the wound mine eye have made in thee. Scratch thee but with a pin, and there remains some scar of it. Lean but upon a rush, thy palm some moment keeps. But now mine eyes, which I have darted at thee, hurt thee not, nor I am sure there is no force in eyes that can do hurt.
Oh, dear Phoebe, if ever, as the hell may be near, you find in some fresh cheek the power of fancy, then you shall know the wounds invisible that love's keen arrows make.
But till that time come not thou near me. And when that time comes, afflict me with thy mocks, pity me not, as till that time I shall not pity thee.
And why? I pray you, who might be your mother, that you exult in all at once over the wretched? What? Though you have no beauty, must you therefore proud and pitiless? Oh. Why, what means this? Why do you look on me? I see no more in you than the ordinary of nature's sail work. I think she means to tangle my eyes too. No, faith, proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brow, your black silk hair, your bugle eyeballs, nor your cheek of cream that can attain my spirit to your worship. You foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her? Like foggy south puffing with wind and rain. You are 1,000 times more man than she a woman. 'Tis such fools as you that makes the world full of ill-favored children. 'Tis not her class, but you that flatters her. And out of you she sees herself more proper than any of her lineaments can show her. But mistress, know yourself. Down on your knees. And I heaven fasting for a good man's love. For I must tell you friendly in your ear. Sail when you can. You are not for all markets. Shepherd, fare you well.
Sweet youth,
and she'll fall in love with my anger, if it be so. As fast as she answers with frowning looks, I'll sauce her with bitter words. Why look you so upon me?
For no ill will I bear you.
I pray you, do not fall in love with me, for I am falser than vows made in wine. Besides, I like you not. Shepherd, ply your heart.
Come, sister.
Shepherdess, look on him better. Though all the world could see, none could be so abused and sad as he. Come to our, flock.
Dear shepherd, now I find myself might. Who ever loved that loved not at first sight?
Sweet Phoebe.
How what sayest thou, Silvius?
Sweet Phoebe, pity me.
Why, I am sorry for thee, gentle Silvius.
Wherever sorrow is, relief would be. For if you do sorrow at my grief and love, by giving love, your sorrow and my grief were both exterminated.
Thou hast my love. It's not that neighborly.
I would have you.
Why not your covetousness? Silvius, the time was I hated thee, and yet it is not that I bear thee love. But since that thou canst talk of love so well, thy company, which erst was irksome to me, I will endure, and I'll employ thee too. But do not look for further recompense than thine own gladness that thou art employed.
So holy and so perfect is my love, that I, in such a poverty of grace, that I shall think it a most plenteous crop to clean the broken ears after the main harvest reaps. Loose now and then a scattered smile, and that I'll live upon.
Knowest the youth that spoke to me erewhile?
Not very well, but I've met him oft.
Think not I love him, though yet I ask for him. 'Tis a peevish boy, yet he talks well. Though what care I for words, yet words do well when he that speaks them pleases those that hear. It is a pretty youth, not very pretty, but sure, he's proud. And yet his pride becomes him. He'll make a proper man. The best thing in him is his complexion, and faster than his tongue did make offense, his eye did heal it up. He is not very tall, yet for his years he's tall. His height is but so-so, and yet 'tis well. There was a pretty redness in his lip. There be some women, Silvius, had they marked him in parcels as I did, would have gone near to fall in love with him. But for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not, and yet I have more cause to hate him than to love him. For what had he to do to chide at me? He said mine eyes were black, and my hair black, and now I am remembered scorned at me. I marvel why I answered not again. But that's all one. Admittance is no quittance. I'll write to him a very taunting letter, and thou shalt bear it. Wilt thou, Silvius?
Phoebe, with all my heart.
I'll write it straight. The matter's in my head and in my heart. I will be bitter with him and passing short. Go with me, Silvius!
A pretty youth. Let me be better acquainted with thee.
They say you are a melancholy fellow.
I am so. I do love it better than laughing.
Those that are in extremity of either are abominable fellows, and betray themselves to every modern censure, worse than drunkards.
Why, 'tis good to be sad and say nothing.
Why then, 'tis good to be a post.
I have neither the scholar's melancholy, which is emulation, nor the musician's, which is fantastical, nor the courtier's, which is proud, nor the soldier's, which is ambitious, nor the lawyer's, which is politic, nor the lady's, which is nice, nor the lover's, which is all these, but it is a melancholy of mine own, compounded of many simples, extracted from many objects, and indeed, the sundry's contemplation of my travels, in which my often rumination wraps me in a most humorous sadness.
A traveler! By my faith, you have great reason to be sad. I fear you have sold your own lands to see other men's. Then to have seen much and to have nothing is to have rich eyes and poor hands.
Yes, I have gained my experience.
And your experience makes you sad. I had rather have a fool to make me merry than experience to make me sad. And to travel for it, too.
Good day and happiness, dear Rosalind.
Nay then, God be with you when you talk in blank verse.
Well, Monsieur Traveler, look you lisp and wear strange suits, or I will scarce think you have swam in a gondola. Wow. How now, Orlando? You a lover, and you serve me such another trick. Never come in my sight more.
My fair Rosalind, I come within an hour of my promise.
Break an hour's promise in love. He that will divide a minute into 1,000 parts and break but a part of that 1,000th part of a minute. It may be said that Cupid hath clapped him of a shoulder, but all warrant him heart whole.
Pardon me, dear Rosalind.
Nay, and you be so tardy, come no more in my sight. I had as lief be wooed by a snail.
Of a snail?
I am a snail! For though he comes slowly, he carries his house on his head. A better jointure, I think, than you make a woman. Besides, he brings his destiny with him.
What's that?
Wow, horns!
Virtue is no horn maker, and my Rosalind is virtuous.
And I am your Rosalind.
It pleases him to call you so, but he hath a Rosalind of a better leer than you.
Come, woo me, for now I am in a holiday humor and like enough to consent. What would you say to me now? And I were your very, very Rosalind.
I would kiss before I spoke.
Nay, you were better speak first, and when you were gravelled for lack of matter, you might take occasion to kiss.
How if the kiss be denied?
Then she puts you to entreaty, and there begins a new matter. Am I not your Rosalind?
I take some joy to say you are, because I would be talking of her.
Well, in her person I say, I will not have you.
Then in mine own person I die.
No. They die by attorney. The poor world is almost 6,000 years old. And in all this time there was never any man died in his own person in a love cause. Men have died from time to time and worms have eaten them, but not for love.
I would not have my right, Rosalind, of this mind, for I protest her frown might kill me.
By this hand it will not kill a fly. But come, now I will be your Rosalind in a more coming on disposition, and ask me what you will. I will grant it.
Then love me, Rosalind?
Yes, faith, will I. Fridays and Saturdays and all.
And wilt thou have me?
I am 20 such.
What sayest thou?
Are you not good?
I hope so.
Then can one have too much of a good thing? Come, sister, you shall be the priest and marry us. Give me your hands, Orlando.
What do you say, sister?
Why you marry us?
I cannot say the words. You must begin. Will you? Oh, go to. Will you, Orlando, have to wife this Rosalind?
I will.
Ah, but when?
Why, now? As fast as she can marry us.
Then you must say, I do take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
I do take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
And I do take thee, Orlando, for my husband. But how long will you have her? After you possessed her?
Forever and a day.
Say a day without the ever. No, no, Orlando, men are April when they woo, December when they wed. Maids are May when they are maids, but the sky changes when they are wives. I will weep for nothing, like Diana in the fountain in that when thou art inclined to be merry. I will laugh, like a hyena in that when thou art inclined to sleep.
But will my Rosalind do so?
By my life, she will do as I do.
Oh, but she is wise. For these 2 hours, I must leave thee.
Alas, dear love, I cannot lack thee 2 hours.
I must attend the Duke at dinner. By 2 o'clock, I will be with thee again.
Go your ways. Go your ways. I knew what you would prove. My friends told me as much. That flattering tongue of yours won me. 'Tis but one cast away. So come, Dev. 2 o'clock is your hour.
Aye, sweet Rosalind.
By my troth, and in good earnest, and so God mend me, and by all the pretty oaths that are not dangerous, if you break one jot of your promise, or come 1 minute behind your hour, I will think you the most hollow lover, and the most pathetic break promise, and the most unworthy of her that you call Rosalind out of the gross band of the unfaithful. So beware my censure, and keep your promise.
No less religion than if thou wert indeed my Rosalind. So, adieu.
Well, time is the old justice that examines all such offenders. And let time dry. Adieu.
You have simply misused all sex in your love break. You must have your devil and hose flying over your head and show the world what the bird has done to her own nest.
Cuz, my pretty little cuz. Do you know how many fathom deep I am in love? But it cannot be sounded. My love hath an unknown bottom like the Bay of Portugal.
Or rather, bottomless. But as fast as you pour affection in, it runs out.
No, let Cupid be judge how deep I am in love. I'll tell thee, Aliena, I cannot be out of sight of Orlando. I'll go find a tree and sigh till he come.
And I'll sleep.
Here was a lover and his lass with a hay and a hoe and a hay noddy no, that o'er the green cornfields did pass. In springtime, the only ring time, when birds do sing, hey ding-a-ding, hey ding-a-ding, hey ding-a-ding. Sweet lovers love the spring. Sweet lovers love the spring. Sweet lovers love the spring.
How say you now? Is it not past 2 o'clock? And here much Orlando.
I warn you, with pure love and troubled brain, Cupid hath ta'en his bow and arrow and is gone forth to sleep. But look, who comes here?
My errand is to you, fair youth. My gentle Phoebe bid me give you this. I know not the contents, but as I guess by the stern brow and waspish action she did use as she was writing of it, it bears an angry tenor. Pardon me, I am but a messenger.
Patience herself would startle at this letter and play the swagger. Bear this, bear all. She says, I am not fair, that I lack manners. She calls me proud, and that she could not love me were man as rare as Phoenix. Well, shepherd, Well, this is a letter of your own device.
No, I protest. I know not the contents. Phoebe did write it.
Why, 'tis a boisterous and cruel style, a style for challengers. Will you hear the letter?
So please you, for I never heard it yet. Yet heard too much of Phoebe's cruelty.
She Phoebes me. Mark how the tyrant writes. Art thou God, the shepherd turned, that a maiden's heart hath burned? Can a woman rail thus?
Call you this railing?
Whilst you chid me, I did love. How then might your prayers move? Did you ever hear such railing? He that brings this love to thee little knows this love in me, and by him seal up thy mind, whether that thy youth and kind will the faithful offer take of me and all that I can make, for else I am alone tonight, and then I'll study how to die.
Call you this chiding?
Alas, poor shepherd.
Do you pity him? No, he deserves no pity. Wilt thou love such a woman? What? To make thee an instrument, and to play false strains upon thee? Not to be endured. Well, go your way to her, and say this to her, that if she do love me, I charge her to love thee, and if she will not, I will never have her, unless thou entreat for her. If you be a true lover, hence. And not a word, for here comes more company.
Tomorrow, fair ones. May you, if you know, where in the perils of this forest stands a sheepcote fenced about with olive trees.
Whence is this place? Down in the neighbor bottom, the rank of osiers by the murmuring stream, left on your right hand brings you to the place. But at this hour the house doth keep itself. There's none within.
If then I may profit by a tongue, then should I know you by description. Such garments and such years. Are not you the owner of the house I did inquire for?
It is no boast, being asked, to say we are.
Orlando doth commend him to you both, and to that youth he calls his Rosalind, he sends this bloody napkin. Are you he?
I am. What must we understand by this?
Some of my shame. If you will know of me what man I am, and how, and why, and where this handkerchief was stained.
I pray you, tell it.
When last the young Orlando parted from you, he left a promise to return again within an hour. Then, pacing through the forest, chewing the food of sweet and bitter fancy, lo, what befell? He threw his eye aside, and marked what object did present itself. Under an oak, whose boughs are mossed with age, and high-top, bald with dry antiquity, a wretched, ragged man, o'ergrown with hair, lay sleeping on his back. About his neck, a green and gilded snake had wreathed itself, who, with her head nimble in threats, approached the opening of his mouth. But suddenly, seeing Orlando, it unlinked itself, and with indented glides did slip away unto a bush, under which bush's shade a lioness. With udders all drawn dry, lay couching, head on ground, with cat-like watch, when that the sleeping man should stir, for 'tis the royal disposition of the beast to prey on nothing that doth seem as dead. This he, Orlando, did approach the man, and found it was his brother, his elder brother.
Oh, I have heard him speak of that same brother, and he did render him the most unnatural that lived amongst men.
Well he might so do, for well I know he was unnatural.
But to Orlando, did he leave him there, food to the sucked and hungry lioness?
Twice did he turn his back and purposed so, but kindness, nobler ever than revenge, made him give battle to the lioness, who quickly fell before him, in which hurtling from miserable slumber I awake.
Are you his brother?
Was you he rescued?
Was you that did so oft contrive to kill him?
'Twas I, but 'tis not I. I do not shame to tell you what I was, since my conversion so sweetly tastes, being the thing I am.
But for the bloody napkin.
In brief, he led me to the gentle Duke, who gave me fresh array and entertainment, committing me unto my brother's love, who led me instantly unto his cave, there stripped himself, and here upon his arm the lioness had torn some flesh away, which all this while had bled, and then he fainted, and cried in fainting upon Rosalind. Brief, I recovered him, bound up his wound, and after some small space, being strong at heart, he sent me hither, stranger as I am, to tell this story, that you might excuse his broken promise, and to give this napkin, dyed in his blood, unto the shepherd youth that he in sport doth call his Rosalind.
How now? Ganymede! Sweet Ganymede!
Many will swoon when they do look on blood.
There's more in it. Cousin Ganymede!
Look, he recovers!
Would I were at home.
Will lead you thither.
I pray you take him by the arm.
Be of good cheer, you a man. You lack a man's heart.
I do so. I confess it. Cyril, a body would think this was well counterfeited. Pray you, tell your brother how well I counterfeited.
This was not counterfeit. There's too great testimony in your complexion.
Counterfeit. I assure you. Hey ho!
Come, you look paler and paler. I pray you draw homewards.
Good sir, go with us.
Between the acres and the rye, with the hay and the hoe and the hay gone, you know, those pretty country folks did lie. In springtime, the only ring time, when birds do sing. Hey ding-a-ding, hey ding-a-ding, hey ding-a-ding, sweet lovers love the spring.
Audrey, have patience, gentle Audrey.
Faith, the priest was good enough.
A most wicked Sir Oliver Audrey. A most vile Martext. But, Audrey, there is a youth here in the forest lays claim to you.
I know who 'tis. He has no interest in me in the world. Here comes the man you mean.
Bear your feeling, Audrey.
Good evening, Audrey.
William.
Good evening to you too, sir.
Good even, gentle friend. Cover thy head. Cover thy head. Nay, prithee, be covered. How old are you, friend?
5. And 20, sir.
Nay, right age. Is thy name William?
Willem, sir.
A fair name. Wast thou born in the forest here?
Aye, sir, and I thank God for it.
Thank God. A good answer. Art rich?
Aye, sir. So.
So is good. Very good. Very excellent good. And yet it is not. It is but so. Art thou wise?
Aye, sir. I have a... Pretty wit.
Why, thou sayest well. I do now remember a saying. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. You do love the saying?
I do.
Give me your hand. Art thou learned?
No, sir.
Then learn this of me. To have is to have, for it is a figure in rhetoric that drink being poured out of a cup into a glass, by filling the one doth empty the other. For all your writers do consent that ipse is he. Now, sir, you are not ipse, for I am he.
Which he, sir.
He, sir, that must marry this woman. Therefore abandoned, which is in the vulgar leave, the society, which in the common is company, of this female, which in the boorish is woman, which together is abandon the society of this female, or thou perishest. Or, to thy better understanding, diest, or to wit, I kill thee. Make thee away, translate life into death, thy liberty into bondage. I will deal with thee in poison, or in bastinado, or in steel. I will fan thee with thee in faction. I will run thee with policy. I will kill thee 150 ways. Therefore tremble and depart.
Do, good William.
God rest you merry, sir.
Tomorrow is the joyful day, Audrey. Tomorrow will we be married.
I do desire it with all my heart, and hope it is no dishonest desire to be a woman of the world.
Trip, Audrey.
Trip, Audrey!
With a hay and a hoe and a hay nonny no.
How that a life was but a flower, how that a life was but a flower. In springtime, the only ring time, when birds do sing.
Hey ding-a-ding.
Hey ding-a-ding. Hey ding-a-ding. Hey ding-a-ding. Sweet lovers love the spring.
You should like her, but seeing you should love her, and loving woo, and wooing she should consent?
Neither call the giddiness of it in question, the poverty of her, the small acquaintance, my sudden wooing, nor her sudden consenting. But say with me, I love Aliena. Say with her that she loves me. Consent that we may enjoy each other, it shall be to your good. My father's house, and all the revenue that was old Sir Roland's, will I estate upon you. And here, live and die a shepherd.
You have my consent. Let your wedding be tomorrow. Thither will I invite the Duke and all his intended followers. Go you and prepare Aliena, for look you, here comes my Rosalind.
God save you, brother.
And you, fair sister.
Oh, my dear Orlando, how it grieves me to see thee wear thy heart in a scarf.
It is my arm.
I thought thy heart had been wounded with the claws of a lion.
Wounded it is, but the eyes of a lady.
Did your brother tell you how I counterfeited to swoon when he showed me your handkerchief?
Aye, and greater wonders than that.
Oh, I know where you are. Nay, 'tis true, there was never anything so sudden, but Caesar's brag of I came, I saw, and overcame for your brother and my sister no sooner looked, but they met. No sooner met, but they loved. No sooner loved, but they asked themselves the reason. No sooner knew the reason, but they sought the remedy. And in these degrees they have built a pair of stairs to marriage, which they will climb. They are in the very wrath of love, and they will together.
They shall be married tomorrow. Oh, how bitter a thing it is to look into happiness through another's eyes. By so much the more shall I tomorrow be at the height of heart heaviness. By how much I shall think my brother happy in having what he wishes for.
Why then tomorrow I cannot serve your turn as Rosalind?
I can live no longer by thinking.
I will weary you then no longer with idle talking. Know of me then, for now I will speak to some purpose, that I know you are a gentleman. Believe then, if you please, that I can do strange things. I have, since I was 3-year-old, conversed with a magician, most profound in his art, and yet not damnable. If you do love Rosalind so near the heart as your gesture cries it out, tomorrow when your brother marries Aliena, so shall you marry Rosalind. I know into what straits of fortune she is driven, and it is not impossible to me, if it appear not inconvenient to you, to set her before your eyes tomorrow, human as she is.
Speakest thou in sober meanings?
By my life, I do. Therefore, put you in your best array. Bid your friends, for if you will be married tomorrow, you shall. And to Rosalind, look, here comes a lover of mine and a lover of hers.
You have done me much ungentleness to show the letter that I writ to you.
I care not if I have. It is my study to seem despiteful and ungentle to you. You are there followed by a faithful shepherd.
Oh.
Love him, he worships you.
Good shepherd, tell this youth what 'tis to love.
It is to be all made of sighs and tears. And so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede. And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of faith and service. And so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of fantasy. All made of passion and all made of wishes. All adoration, duty, and observance. All humbleness, all patience and impatience. All purity, all trial, and all observance. And so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
So am I for Rosalind.
And so am I for no woman.
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
Who do you speak to?
Does not fear, nor does not fear.
I pray you no more of this. 'Tis like the howling of Irish wolves against the moon. I would love you if I could. I will help you if I can. Tomorrow, meet me all together. I will marry you. If ever I marry woman, and I'll be married tomorrow, I will content you. If what pleases you contents you, and you'll be married tomorrow. I will satisfy you. If ever I satisfied man, and you shall be married tomorrow. So fare you well. I have left you commands. If I bring Rosalind, you will have her.
That would I, were I of all kingdoms king.
You say you'll marry me, if I be willing.
That will I, should I die the hour after.
But if you do refuse to marry me, you'll give yourself to this most faithful shepherd.
So is the bargain.
You say you'll have Phoebe, if she will.
Though to have her and death were both one thing.
From hence I go, to make all doubts even.
I'll not fail if I live.
And nor I!
Nor I!
Nor I!
Therefore take the present time with the hay and the hoe and the hay. Now you know when love is crowded with the prime. In springtime, the only ring time, when birds do sing. Hey, ding-a-ding, ding-a-ding. Hey, ding-a-ding, ding-a-ding. Sweet love.
I do remember in this shepherd voice some lively touches of my daughter's favor.
My lord, the first time that ever I saw him, we thought he was a brother to your daughter.
Dost thou believe, Orlando, that the boy can do all that he hath promised?
I sometimes do believe, and sometimes do not. As those that fear, they hope, and know they fear.
Good Duke, receive thy daughter. Thou hast joined her hand. His heart within his bosom is.
I'll have no father, if you be not he. I'll have no husband, if you be not he.
If there is truth in sight, you are my daughter.
If there be truth in sight, you are my Rosalind.
If sight and shape be true, why then my love adieu.
You and I no cross shall part. You and you are heart and heart. You to his love must accord, or have a woman to your lord.
Oh, my dear niece, welcome. Thou art to me welcome, even daughter, in no less degree.
I will not eat my word, now thou art mine. Thy faith, my fancy to thee, doth combine.
There is sure another flood toward, and these couples are coming to the ark.
Let me have audience for a word or two. I am the other son of old Sir Roland.
These tidings to this fair assembly. Duke Frederick, hearing how that every day men of great worth resorted to this forest, addressed a mighty power, which were on foot in his own conduct, purposely to take his brother here and put him to the sword. And to the skirts of this wild wood he came, where, meeting with an old religious man, after some question with him, was converted, both from his enterprise and from the world. His crown bequeathing unto his banished brother, and all their lands restored to them again that were with him exiled. This to be true, I do engage my life, young man. Thou offers fairly to thy brother's weddings. To one, his land restored. To the other, a land itself at large. A potent dukedom. But first, in this forest, let us do these ends that were here, well begun and well begot. And after every of this happy number that have endured true days and nights with us, shall share the good of our returned fortune. Meantime, let us forget this new fallen dignity, and let us fall into a rustic revelry! Play, music, and you, bride and bridegrooms all, with measure heaped in joy till the measures fall.
Sir, by your patience, if I heard you rightly, the Duke hath put on a religious life and hath thrown into neglect the pompous court?
He hath.
To him will I. Out of these convertites there is much matter to be heard and learned. You to your former honor I bequeath, your patience and virtue well deserves it. You to a love that your true faith doth merit. You to your land and love and great allies. You to a long and well-deserved bed. And you to wrangling. So to your pleasures, I am for other than for dancing measures.
Stay, Jaques. Stay.
To see no pastime, I. What you would have, I'll stay to know at your abandoned cave.
Proceed. Proceed. We will begin these rites as we do trust they'll end in true delights.
But it is no more unhandsome than to see the Lord the prologue. If it be true that good wine needs no bush, 'tis true that a good play needs no epilogue. Yet to good wine they do use good bushes, and good plays prove the better with the help of a good epilogue. What a case am I in then, that am neither a good epilogue nor cannot insinuate with you in the behalf of a good play. I am not furnished like a beggar, therefore to beg does not become me. I come to conjure you, and I will begin with the women. I charge you, women, for the love you bear to men, to like as much of this play as please you. And I charge you, men, for the love you bear to women, as I perceive by your simpering, none of you hates them, that between you and the women, this play may please. And I am sure as many have good beards or sweet faces or bold hands will, for my kind offer, when I make curtsy, bid me farewell.